Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland. Behind me is the statue of Sir Bartle Frere, a very distinguished colonial administrator. You see him there, resplendent in his robes, and I wish I could zoom in, but if you look carefully at his tunic, you'd see it's braided, got this special pattern on it, and very high-ranking officials, governors and so on, would wear that. That's their court dress for very important occasions. So he donned that regalia, but rarely. And below him, you see this figure. She looks like Liberty. Perhaps it's a bit more light this way. She's got that curious hat the Statue of Liberty wears. See her holding the sword. Her shield says Pro Patria, as in for the fatherland. So Sir Bartle Frere, he had distant French ancestry because his surname Frère is brother in French. And his Christian name Bartle is really a surname because the scion of another distinguished family, which is why they took that. Quite often it was the mother's maiden name, was given to the eldest son of the family if she was a Miss Bartle. I don't think his mother was actually a Miss Bartle. They got it from a more distant relative. So he came from an upper class family, not actually a peer of the realm, and he became a colonial administrator. He went out to India. However, the area of India he served in most of all is what we would now call Pakistan. And that's why in Karachi there is Frere Hall and indeed Frere Gardens. It's not, people often don't know its official name, often known by something else colloquially. And he is seen to have repeated his success there in the 1870s by going to South Africa, being the High Commissioner there, effectively the governor. And he said, well, you know, we can't have this situation where there's the Cape Colony, then there's Natal as a colony, then the Boers are setting up their own states, the Transvaal Republic, the Orange Free State, things like that. There are various indigenous African kingdoms which are fully independent. Some of them are protectorates, a bit like Swaziland and Lesotho. Zululand is completely sovereign. Well, this is all too complicated. We must simplify it. We must all have it completely under British suzerainty. And he said, we must do something about the Zulus. We can't have this puissant African kingdom in our midst. Something must be done. So that's why he provoked war. In January 1879, a Zulu woman crossed the river into Natal, the British colony, to take up with her paramour. Now her husband and her sons crossed the river, abducted her, dragged her back into Zululand and stabbed her to death. And Frere said, this is outrageous. Well, this was just the pretext he'd been looking for. And he said, we cannot tolerate this kind of aggression. The moment this woman set foot on British loam, she was a British subject. So they then presented an ultimatum to the Zulu king, Cetewayo Kampande, saying you must do this and that. You must disband many of your regiments. These bachelor soldiers is unacceptable. They no longer have to be celibate. Allow them to wed. Thought that would make them less aggressive and all the rest of it. And this was just unacceptable. There's no way the Zulus could agree to that. Cetewayo would have lost face if he had done, been overthrown and possibly assassinated. So the British had been bringing more troops into South Africa with a view to this fight. Some people, like the Prime Minister Disraeli, was not so keen on it because there was possibly a war against Russia in the offing because the second Afghan war was just over. He was a prancing pro-consul, as Disraeli said. Disraeli said these colonies are millstones around our neck. However, he realised it played well with the newly enfranchised middle classes. So that's why he decided to bang the imperialist drum at this time. Anyway, so the Honourable Thesiger was there as commander of the British troops, and his father died. He became Viscount Chelmsford. You may have heard of the explorer Wilfred Thesiger. He met me once, lucky chap. He was the grand-nephew of this man. Anyhow, so January 1879, the war kicked off, and the rest is history. You probably know about the British being far too complacent and not taking their enemies seriously and being defeated at the Battle of Isandlwana because Lord Chelmsford disregarded the advice of the old hands, these Boers who said, no, you must circle the ox wagons. You must have a tight perimeter. And that's why after this British defeat at the hands of people with Iron Age weapons, a newspaper here published a cartoon with a Zulu warrior writing on the blackboard and teaching John Bull a lesson, despise not your enemy. I can't remember who said at the time that the British think they're fighting an army of schoolgirls. No, the Zulus must be grudgingly respected. So, but anyway, the war did end in British victory, which was unsurprising given that the United Kingdom had what was at the time state-of-the-art military technology, and finally adapted their tactics to the country. But Sir Bartle Frere, he was soon recalled because they'd won, but he'd gone to war needlessly. The telegraph still hadn't been laid to South Africa, so he couldn't relay messages to London and get them back very quickly. It would take a few weeks by sea, which gave him quite extensive freedom of action, because London couldn't closely superintend what he was doing. He could do things, then they were done, present them with a fait accompli. And he retired in the United Kingdom, and he died in 1887.